Okay, so today we're going on a deep dive into something I find absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
We're going to uncover the lost Buddhist heritage of Pakistan.
Mm,
And I think this is a history that will surprise a lot of people.
sure.
We're going to be exploring a script called Exploring the Hidden Buddhist Pilgrimage Sites of Pakistan.
Okay.
And, when you think about Pakistan, you probably have a certain image that comes to mind. But
Yeah.
did you know centuries ago, this region was actually a vibrant hub for Buddhism?
Yeah, it's remarkable. You know how layers of history can sometimes be hidden right there in plain sight?
Yeah.
And so what we're talking about is a period starting around the 3rd century BCE when Emperor Ashoka,
Yep.
a key figure in spreading Buddhism, ruled this land. And then during the Kushan Empire,
Okay.
between the 1st and 4th century CE, this region gave rise to the Gandhara civilization.
So this wasn't just a brief moment in time.
No.
This Gandhara civilization, they left behind some incredible things.
But it
Beautiful Buddhist art, elaborate architecture, and centers of learning that rivaled the famous Nalanda University in India. And get this, even the renowned Chinese monk Huanzang,
Right.
who journeyed across Asia in the 7th century CE,
Uh-huh.
he documented these thriving Buddhist centers. So
That's true.
that tells you just how significant they were.
Absolutely. And speaking of significant places, let's talk about Takibahi.
Okay.
The name itself meaning throne of water. It kind of evokes a sense of mystery, wouldn't you say?
It really does.
Yeah.
It sounds like something out of an Indiana Jones movie.
Hmm.
Where exactly is this throne of water?
So picture this, a hilltop monastery overlooking the Mardin Valley in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa.
Okay.
That's Takibahi. And it's actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site
Wow.
that was active for over 800 years,
800 years.
starting in the 1st century CE.
Wow, that's an incredibly long time.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about the monastery itself?
Well, you're right to imagine a sense of peace and tranquility there.
I'm picturing monks meditating in these tranquil surroundings, surrounded by stupas.
Yeah.
Now, I have to admit, I'm not entirely sure what a stupa is.
So stupas, for those who might not know, are these dome-shaped structures
Okay.
that often contain relics or represent important Buddhist concepts. At Pakibahi, you'd find not just stupas, but also meditation cells, assembly halls, a whole complex dedicated to Buddhist practice.
Wow.
And because it's so well preserved, it offers us a really rare glimpse into the daily life of a Buddhist community from centuries ago.
That's amazing. It must feel like stepping back in time.
Yeah.
And speaking of stepping back in time, the script also mentions Taxila as another important site.
Right.
Now, wasn't that a major center of learning, like a Nalanda of the Gandhara region?
Exactly. Think of Taxila as a magnet for monks from all over Asia,
Wow.
all drawn to its reputation as a center of Buddhist knowledge and scholarship. The source material highlights a few really interesting spots within Taxila. For instance, there's the Jolyon Monastery, which is home to the healing Buddha statue.
Okay.
It's believed to have spiritual healing powers, which is a pretty intriguing concept.
It's fascinating how these ancient beliefs and practices continue to resonate even today. You know, it makes you think about the enduring power of faith and spirituality.
It does.
What other notable sites are there in Taxila?
Well, there's the Dharmarshika Stupa,
Okay.
built by Emperor Ashoka himself.
Wow.
It's believed to contain relics of the Buddha, making it an incredibly significant pilgrimage site.
Okay.
And then there's the Moramorado Monastery, which is described as a really peaceful retreat. Perfect for those seeking deep meditation and contemplation.
So Taxila was more than just a place of learning.
Absolutely.
It was a place where people could engage with Buddhism in various ways, whether through studying pilgrimage or seeking spiritual healing.
Right.
It must have been a pretty remarkable place to visit back then.
Yeah.
Now, the script also mentions Danakosha Lake,
Yes.
a site with special significance for Vajrayana Buddhists. Can you explain what Vajrayana Buddhism is?
You bet. So Vajrayana Buddhism is sometimes called Tibetan Buddhism,
Okay.
and it's known for its emphasis on rituals, visualizations, and achieving enlightenment in this lifetime.
Okay.
Now, this Danakosha Lake, located in the Brohill Valley of Chitral,
Okay.
is believed to be connected to Guru Rinpoche, the founder of Tibetan Buddhism. It said that he meditated there before heading to Tibet,
Wow.
imbuing the lake with spiritual energy.
The fact that it's nestled amidst mountains
Yeah,
and takes quite a journey to reach makes it seem even more special.
it does.
And the script mentioned something about the lake's shape having symbolic meaning.
That's right. Danakosha Lake is heart-shaped.
Oh, wow.
And in Vajrayana Buddhism, the heart is often seen as a symbol of spiritual purity.
Interesting.
So imagine undertaking a challenging pilgrimage to reach this heart-shaped lake high in the mountains.
Yeah.
It's almost like a physical manifestation of the journey towards spiritual enlightenment.
It's incredible how geography and spirituality are so intertwined in this story.
Yeah, right.
The landscape itself becomes part of this spiritual experience.
Yeah.
You mentioned that Danakosha Lake is considered a sacred land, even a hidden land in some Tibetan Buddhist texts.
Yeah.
What does that mean exactly?
So in Vajrayana Buddhism, there's this concept of beyul, which are hidden lands said to possess special spiritual qualities.
Okay.
These beyul are often difficult to reach, requiring great effort and devotion to discover.
So kind of like a Shangri-La.
Exactly. Think of them as hidden pockets of paradise where spiritual energies are particularly potent.
So Danakosha Lake is like a hidden gem.
Yes.
Both geographically and spiritually. It makes you wonder what other secrets and treasures might be tucked away in the remote corners of the world.
It's
just waiting to be rediscovered.
Precisely. And speaking of hidden treasures, let's move on to another historically significant region, the Swat Valley.
Swat Valley.
Yeah.
That name rings a bell, but I can't quite place it. Refresh my memory. What's its connection to this Buddhist heritage we're exploring?
So the Swat Valley was a major hub for both Mahayana and Vajrayana Buddhism.
Okay.
Now, Mahayana Buddhism, just to clarify, emphasizes the path of the bodhisattva, someone who seeks enlightenment to benefit all beings.
Right.
What's particularly fascinating about the Swat Valley is that some scholars believe that Vajrayana Buddhism might have originated there before spreading to Tibet.
Wow. Imagine, so the Swat Valley might be the birthplace of an entire branch of Buddhism.
It's possible.
What kind of evidence supports this theory?
Well, it's still a matter of debate among scholars.
Sure.
But there are some intriguing clues. For example, certain texts and teachings within Vajrayana Buddhism point to the Swat Valley as a place of origin.
Okay.
Additionally, some of the unique practices and rituals found in Vajrayana Buddhism have parallels in ancient traditions from the Swat Valley.
That's amazing. It just goes to show how much there still is to learn about history. How new discoveries can challenge our understanding of the past and reshape our perception of entire regions.
Absolutely. And within the Swat Valley itself, there are a couple of sites mentioned in our source material that I think you'll find interesting.
I'm all ears. Tell me more about these sites.
First, there's the Amlik Dara Stupa, a towering structure tucked away in the mountains.
Okay.
It's a testament to the architectural prowess of the people who built it.
Oh.
And then there's the Butkara Stupa, another impressive stupa.
Okay.
This one built by Emperor Ashoka. It's considered highly sacred and is a testament to Ashoka's influence in spreading Buddhism throughout his vast empire.
It's incredible to think that these stupas, built centuries ago, still stand today.
Yeah.
They're like physical links to a past that often feels so distant and intangible.
Right?
It must be quite an experience to stand in their presence and feel that connection to history.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that the past isn't just a collection of stories. It's a tangible reality that we can still experience today. And in the case of these Buddhist sites, they offer a powerful testament to the enduring legacy of a belief system that has shaped cultures and influenced lives for centuries.
Right.
Yeah.
It really makes you think about the impact of these places. We've talked about their significance to the people who live there, but they're also connected to a vast network that spanned across Asia.
Absolutely. These weren't just isolated pockets of practiced trade routes and intellectual exchange, all flowed through these regions,
right,
connecting them to the wider Buddhist world.
It's easy to forget about that interconnectedness when we think about history. We tend to compartmentalize things.
We do.
But these sites remind us that even in ancient times, there was this flow of ideas and cultures across vast distances.
Exactly. Think about it. These monasteries and stupas weren't just places of worship. They were centers of learning, art, cultural exchange. People from all walks of life converged there, sharing ideas, debating philosophies, creating a vibrant tapestry of human experience.
The source material really emphasizes the artistry of the Gandhar civilization.
It does.
The sculptures in particular are described as being so beautiful and expressive.
Yeah.
It's almost like we can reach through time and touch the beautifully crafted pieces.
And those sculptures weren't merely decorative.
Right.
They played a crucial role in teaching and spreading Buddhist principles. Each detail, each gesture was carefully chosen to convey a specific meaning, a teaching, a story.
It's amazing to consider the skill and devotion that went into creating those works of art.
It is.
Imagine the artisans painstakingly carving each detail,
Yeah.
imbued with a sense of purpose and reverence.
It gives you a real sense of the depth of belief
Right.
that permeated these communities, doesn't it?
It does.
Your faith wasn't just a set of abstract ideas. It was woven into the fabric of their daily lives, expressed through their art, their architecture, their rituals, the very existence.
And speaking of rituals,
Yeah.
we can't forget about the role of pilgrimage. People traveled vast distances, often facing perilous journeys to reach these sacred sites.
They did.
That speaks volumes about the power of these places and the spiritual yearning they inspired.
It's a testament to the human desire to connect with something larger than themselves.
Right.
To seek meaning and purpose, to find solace and inspiration.
Yeah.
These journeys weren't just reaching a physical destination.
Right.
They were about transforming oneself.
Yeah.
About shedding old ways of thinking and embracing a new way of being.
So these sites weren't just destinations.
No.
They were transformative experiences.
Absolutely.
Like the saying goes, it's not the destination, it's the journey.
Exactly. The challenges faced along the way were seen as opportunities for growth and self-discovery. Each step taken, each obstacle overcome, brought the pilgrim closer to their goal, not just geographically, but also spiritually.
It's fascinating to think about how these ancient journeys mirrored the inner journey of spiritual transformation.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, how did those ancient pilgrims experience these sacred sites? What emotions did they evoke?
Right.
What lessons did they impart?
Those are great questions, and while we can't step directly into their shoes, we can try to imagine the awe they must have felt.
Yeah.
Upon seeing these majestic stupas rising from the landscape, the peace that descended upon them as they entered the tranquil spaces of the monasteries, the sense of connection they experienced as they walked in the footsteps of countless pilgrims before them.
It's like we've been given a glimpse into a hidden world.
It is.
A world that challenges our preconceived notions and expands our understanding of history.
Right.
But while we have these physical remnants of a vibrant Buddhist past, I'm curious about the intangible legacy.
Yeah.
How has this history shaped the cultural landscape of Pakistan?
That's a complex question.
Yeah.
While the dominance of Buddhism in the region faded over time, its influence can still be felt in subtle ways. Some scholars suggest that certain cultural practices and traditions in Pakistan may have Buddhist roots, even if those connections aren't always consciously recognized.
It's fascinating to think about how these ancient beliefs and practices might have been woven into the fabric of Pakistani culture, subtly influencing art, music, literature, even social customs.
Absolutely.
It speaks to the enduring power of ideas and how they can transcend time and cultural boundaries.
Precisely, it highlights the enduring impact of history.
Right.
Even when it's hidden beneath layers of time and change.
Yeah.
Think of it like an archaeological dig. As we carefully brush away the layers of soil and debris, we uncover fragments of the past that tell a story that's often more intricate and surprising than we could have imagined.
So even though Buddhism isn't a dominant religion in Pakistan today, its legacy continues to echo in unexpected ways.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what other hidden influences might be shaping our world, our cultures, our very identities.
It's an invitation to look deeper, to question our assumptions, to peel back the layers of time and uncover the connections that bind us to the past.
Yeah.
And sometimes those connections can be found in the most unexpected places.
It's like putting together a giant jigsaw puzzle. Each piece revealing a new and fascinating part of the picture.
Yeah.
The more pieces we find, the richer and more vibrant the overall image becomes.
Absolutely.
But you know, as we've been discussing, the enduring influence of Buddhism in Pakistan, I can't help but wonder what factors led to its decline in the region.
That's a great question. And it's important to remember that historical shifts are rarely simple or straightforward.
Right.
Multiple factors usually intertwine to bring about change.
Yeah.
In the case of Buddhism in Pakistan, several things likely played a role.
Such as, I'm really curious to hear your perspective on this.
Well, the rise of other religions, particularly Islam, certainly had an impact.
Okay.
And then you have to consider the political and economic changes that swept across the region over centuries. The decline of empires, the shifting of trade routes.
Right.
These things can all contribute to the rise and fall of religious traditions.
So it's a complex interplay of cultural, political, and economic forces.
It is.
It's a reminder that history is rarely black and white.
Right.
It's full of shades of gray and intricate connections.
Absolutely. And it's important to approach these historical transitions with nuance.
Yeah.
And avoid oversimplification. We can't just point to a single cause
Right.
and say, this is why Buddhism declined.
Right.
It's about understanding the complex web of factors that contributed to this shift.
I appreciate that perspective. It reminds us that history is a nuanced and multifaceted subject.
Yeah.
We can't just reduce it to simple explanations.
Yeah.
We need to embrace the complexity and dig deeper to truly understand the forces that have shaped our world.
Exactly. And that complexity is part of what makes it so fascinating to study.
Yeah.
History isn't a static collection of facts. It's
Yeah.
a living, breathing narrative that's constantly being reinterpreted and reshaped as we uncover new evidence and perspectives.
It's like we're detectives piecing together clues to solve a historical mystery. And with each clue, we get a little closer to understanding the intricate tapestry of the past.
Right.
But just like any good mystery, there are always more questions than answers.
That's right. And that's the beauty of history.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing conversation, and our understanding of the past is constantly evolving as we uncover new evidence and perspectives. We're always learning, always discovering, always piecing together a more complete and nuanced picture of the past.
You know, it strikes me that this deep dive has really highlighted the importance of questioning and exploring.
Yeah.
And remaining open to new interpretations.
Absolutely.
We often think of history as being fixed and unchanging.
Right.
But in reality, it's a fluid and dynamic thing.
The more we learn, the more we realize how much there still is to discover. Every new piece of evidence, every fresh perspective can shift our understanding of the past and challenge our assumptions about the world.
You know, before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something we touched upon earlier.
Okay.
You mentioned how the rediscovery of these Buddhist sites can challenge our preconceived notions of Pakistan.
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear you expand on that idea. What can these sites teach us about cultural identity and the fluidity of history?
Well, I think these sites serve as powerful reminders that cultures are rarely monolithic or static.
Okay.
They evolve, they adapt, they absorb influences from other cultures.
Right.
And the history of Pakistan, as we've seen, is a testament to this dynamism. You know, it was a crossroads of civilizations, a melting pot of ideas and beliefs.
So rather than seeing Pakistan's history as a linear progression from one dominant culture to another,
Right.
we should view it as a tapestry,
Yeah.
woven from diverse threads, a tapestry that includes Buddhism as a significant and enduring element.
Exactly. And this tapestry isn't just a relic of the past. It continues to shape Pakistan's present and future. The influence of Buddhism can be seen in architecture, literature, philosophy, even in subtle aspects of daily life.
Yeah.
It's woven into the very fabric of Pakistani culture.
It makes you wonder what other hidden histories are waiting to be unearthed
Right.
in other parts of the world. What stories are we overlooking? What connections are we failing to make?
That's a fantastic point. It's a reminder that there are countless untold stories, forgotten legacies, hidden connections just waiting to be uncovered.
Right.
Our understanding of the past and indeed of the present is always incomplete.
Yeah.
There's always more to learn, more to explore, more to discover.
It's an invitation to embrace curiosity, to challenge our assumptions, and to never stop exploring the fascinating complexities of our world.
It is.
And who knows, maybe some of our listeners will be inspired to embark on their own explorations to uncover those hidden histories that are waiting to be told.
What a wonderful thought to think that our conversation today might spark someone's curiosity and lead them down a path of discovery. That's the power of history.
Yeah.
Its ability to connect us to the past, illuminate the present, and inspire us to imagine new possibilities for the future.
Well, this deep dive has certainly given us a lot to think about.
It has.
It's been a journey of discovery, not just of ancient sites and lost civilizations, but also of the interconnectedness of cultures and the enduring power of ideas.
It's been a pleasure sharing this journey with you.
Likewise.
And I hope our listeners have enjoyed it as well.
And to our listeners, if this deep dive has sparked your curiosity, I encourage you to explore further.
Yeah.
Dig into the source material, delve into the rich history of Pakistan, and see what treasures you can uncover. Remember, history isn't just about memorizing dates and names.
Right.
It's about understanding the forces that have shaped our world and the connections that bind us together across time and cultures.
It is.
It's about finding those aha moments that make us see the past in a new light. and appreciate the complexities of human experience.
Those aha moments are out there waiting to be discovered, so keep your minds open, your curiosity alive, and your sense of wonder engaged. You never know what amazing discoveries you might make.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this episode of The Deep Dive. Until next time, keep seeking, keep questioning, and keep exploring the endless wonders of history.